Hey, this is Dumb and Dumbest with Curtis Dewar and Matt Bacon. Curtis is over here. Say hello, Curtis.
Hello.
This is our third episode of Dumb and Dumbest, and this week we're going to be talking about content marketing
Yeah.
and how you can use content creation to make yourself money, both in the short term and the long term.
Awesome.
So a lot of this was inspired recently by a Finn McKenty video I watched. Finn McKenty is the head of Punk Rock MBA. And it's a Facebook group you should join if you're serious about marketing yourself. And I kind of wanted to use this as the premise of the episode, if you don't mind, Curtis, because so basically there's three ways to make money off of content,
Okay.
as he outlines it, right? Basically, you have the classic model. You create a piece of content, people buy it. That's like you create an album, and people buy your album.
Yeah.
Right? Then you have sort of the more recent, like crowd-funded, kickstarted model where it's like Patreon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like ongoing direct monetization. You could also almost describe it as like touring constantly. It's like ongoing direct monetization, right? Because you're just money's coming in, but it's not necessary. It's predicated on you doing shit. It's not predicated on you putting out a single piece of content and everyone buying it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the final thing, and this is the one I think you and I focus on, is creating content because that builds relationships, and those relationships make you money.
Yeah.
What do you think of that as a general outline?
I agree with you on all three. Now, the thing that, like you said, that we both specialize in is creating content in general. Now, for me, it's not necessarily to make money in general, but it's to pretty much just get myself known out there so that way people will contact me, which I guess is indirectly making me money, but it's also to make sure that like I do, since my main business is PR, I have to have relationships with journalists. I have to have a method that when I send out an email, they're going to want to open my email. So if they've been talking to me on Twitter, or they've been talking to me on social media, or they've seen a video that I've done, they're more likely to open up my email. So as for monetization, I guess it is an indirect monetization when you put it that way, for sure.
Well, that's exactly it, is that as you grow your reputation and as more and more people can concretely say, oh, Curtis is the guy who does those videos and Curtis is the guy who does these posts on Twitter, the bigger the Dewar PR brand is going to grow.
Well, it's not only that, but they also know that if they ask me a question from direct message or from a comment, they know I'm going to answer it as well. So then they're more likely to look at me as a person that they want to do business with in the future.
Exactly. How do you think bands, and this is something I've struggled helping bands with, how do you think bands can sort of access that kind of creating content to build relationships?
Well, here's the main thing that I see is most, not all obviously, but most don't do it enough. They just don't put out enough content rather, because I don't know how many times I've been asked to check out somebody's Facebook page or their Twitter page or whatever to see if I can help them with it. And the main thing is they're just not posting enough. They're doing once a week, once a month, once every couple days. To me, it's more like if they start getting frequent, they're going to start getting more known and more people are going to start talking to them. And they're also not interacting with anyone else.
Yeah.
So that's what I normally find is the first thing. I mean, after that, then we can talk. But I mean, the first thing I'd look at is how frequently are they posting, and then how frequently are they interacting with other people, and not just putting spam comments on Instagram like the fire emoji and stupid crap like that.
Yeah. One thing I learned this week is that it's ideal to have at least a comment that is longer than 3 words when you're posting on Instagram, which makes a lot of sense.
You mean on commenting to others?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I agree. I think that one thing,
Mm-hmm.
One thing bands don't realize is that your income is directly tied to your productivity and content creation. And at the end of the day, posting meaningful content on social media is a form of content creation. And because it builds your brand and your reputation, and that's going to grow you.
Reversely, at the same time, as my own opinion is, if the person doesn't have too much meaningful, they still need to get content out there in some manner. Like, I mean, you're not going to get good at doing meaningful or good content until you get frequent. You know what I mean? So, I mean, yours and I, both of us in the beginning, we were crap. We were just total and utter crap. Our podcast right now is probably total and utter crap, but it's going to get better.
Eventually.
We're doing it, and we're doing it on the basis that we're going to get better, and it's that's my own opinion, is you got to do more, and then you'll eventually get good at it, right?
Exactly. I always like to use the example of Great Electric Quest, who I think are one of the best, most savvy bands on social media, just because those guys are constantly commenting on shit, not just with the band page, but with their personal pages, which actually gets a lot more traction.
Yeah. Well, though, at the same time, just to butt in there for 1 second, you don't want to go too overboard on your personal page at the same time, just because Facebook can shut you down if they think that you're advertising your own product too much, just as an aside there.
Yeah, but I think the important thing to realize is that if you're just commenting, and like you're not, the thing is, like with Great Electric Quest, is they're not trying to suck their own dicks all the time.
Yeah.
Like they're not, they're not like, come check out our new record. They're just part of the community, and because they're part of the community, they're creating content that's meaningful to a lot of people because it's it's our boys in Great Electric Quest.
And people are more inclined to check out their album when they drop something new.
Exactly.
Another really good band for that, just to pimp one of my own bands, is Allfather. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
UK, but they're, especially on Twitter, they are like Tom, the vocalist. He's a master at interacting, and even in between album cycles, he's constantly talking to people. And he's not just promoting Allfather. I mean, he is, but it's not. But he's also talking about other things, talking about other albums, talking about movies he's seen, shows pictures of his kids. And he's, as a result, once this new Allfather album went up for pre-sale, they had like a ton of pre-sales within a day or two. So, I mean, this is a little tiny band that's they are totally independent, right? So they probably sold more in their first 24 hours of pre-sales than a lot of established bands do.
What it sounds like to me, what it sounds like to me is that Allfather seem to understand that one of the fundamental rules of Instagram in particular is that if you act like a celebrity, you are going to become a celebrity. So if you share the love and you share like your life and all that stuff, then people are going to connect with it, because people want something to be able to feel bonded to.
Exactly.
You have someone who looks larger than life but is still easy to get in touch with. Like, that's like literally most of my brand is people who see the fucking videos on Instagram and think they're cool, and then are amazed when I text them back within 5 minutes.
Same thing happens with me, right? And it also show pictures of my kids and stuff, and I let them interact. Like, I got Gage sitting right next to me right now, eating his gummies while we talk. And you're totally right on that, 100%.
This is why I need to have kids to grow my brand.
Not when they're babies. It ain't gonna happen, dude. All you're gonna be doing is hearing screaming for night after night after night.
Fair.
You need to adopt when they're like this age, like 5 and 6.
Right. I get past the hard part.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because what I think, so kind of to go back to not using your personal page to pimp yourself out too much.
Yeah.
Something a mentor of mine said to me is that with your Facebook, you should only be posting achievements.
I can agree with that too.
On your page, you should only post achievements.
Your business page, you're saying?
No, on your personal page, you only post achievements. Okay. Then you can comment on other people's shit and create value there. But on your business page, only post achievements. If your personal page rather, because your personal page on Facebook is your brand at this point.
Yeah, I can agree with that to a degree.
People there's basically two types of people left on Facebook right now, and it's people who are actively trying to push something.
Yeah.
Or people who air out all their drama and everyone hates them.
Yeah, those are the ones I try to avoid.
Those are the two types of active Facebook users, and sometimes you have a combination of the two.
Yeah, they'd say you got the same type of people on Twitter and Instagram too, pretty much.
Yeah.
But no, can I give you my opinion on that?
Sure.
For my own opinion, I never use my personal page, almost ever. The only thing I use my personal page for is to do direct messaging. Once in the odd while, not comment, sorry, will post something, but it's like, I think the last time I posted anything was like 5 months ago on my personal page. And, but I'm always commenting and liking and talking to people on other pages. I just, for me, on my personal page, I've just never really felt the need to use it. I use the business page primarily, and I use Twitter for everything else, and Instagram. But Instagram, Facebook personal for me, never found a need for it. I probably should, but anyway, that's my own opinion. I would disagree with that slightly, but you might be right, because I might be missing out on a lot of things.
Well, I think it depends on your overall strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that certain bands, just because of how their strategy is, they don't need to be a part of it. Whereas other bands, that becomes a huge thing. You know, I think it's important to realize that more and more young people don't have Facebook at all.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I think people forget that.
Yeah.
You know, that being said, like with our stoner rock community, a lot of those dudes are older. That's why it's very active on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the other thing is Facebook is like the best, like Facebook has the most content sharing and content creation options, you know?
Yeah.
Like Instagram has a lot of limitations, which is why a lot of the music scene happens on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Because Facebook's a much broader platform.
Yeah, and it's easier to post music videos and stuff like that too.
Exactly. Whereas like Instagram, there's the minute limit. IGTV is formatted all weird and probably dead on arrival. Probably is going to be gone within 6 months.
And Twitter kind of sucks for posting video. I mean, it can happen, but it's kind of retarded.
Yeah, but again, it's dead on arrival. Any social media feature that doesn't blast within the first 10 days is basically never going to happen. You know, it was same with like Twitter Moments or Facebook Watch, or so.
Well, Facebook Watch, I've been hearing, is supposed to be blowing up at some point, but it never happened. So who knows?
Well, yeah, I kind of worry that Facebook Watch, or not worry, but I kind of feel Facebook Watch may have gone the way of Google Plus, Google Wave. Oh God, every time Google tried to roll out a social media platform, and it was just like, no.
You want to hear something funny about Google Plus? I still post on it, and you know what happened? You know what almost always happens when I put a song up there is I get more plays on there than I do almost any other social media platform. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if it's bots or if it's legit or what, but it's just, it seems like you actually get more plays on when you post in their groups. It's the weirdest thing.
Interesting. That's a good thing for bands to know.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? Is that there are like have you ever read Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk?
I have not.
Okay.
Also, hail Gary V.
Anyways, that was one of I read that back in 2012 or 2013, and it's a bit out of date. But one of the things he goes over in there is that when he was building up his wine library, because he started in wine and he started doing YouTube videos about wine to sell his dad's liquor, or his wine rather, and so one of the things he used to do is he used to post on every single platform no matter what, just because of the fact that because there's always that small little chance that there might be someone on that small little platform that might see what you're doing and do business with you. And I've had that happen to me recently with Vero. Like nobody uses Vero, nobody at all. But then I had a band reach out to me because they saw me on Vero. I've now done a little bit of promo for them, and I'm going to do another album promo for them in a couple months. So that's just from going on Vero and consistently posting, and it just takes you like a minute just to repost from something like Instagram or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it happens, right?
It does, and I think those sorts of things are very important to to embrace. But I also feel like you don't want to overwhelm people.
No, but at the same time, if you got one of those smaller, like here's what I'm saying about Google Plus. So like, let's say you could do a repost on Google Plus for something that you're posting on Twitter or Facebook. That would be a fine thing to me, because there's not that many people there. If you just use the repost function there and not do anything original, I think it's a smart method of utilizing that feature. You know what I mean? Not necessarily taking a ton of time into the smaller platform, but just doing a repost function or whatever, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like Google Plus and Vero, I don't spend much time on, but I still do like a repost of certain things on there.
That being said, I think it's important to remember that it's important to remember that you need to format shit for the platform. I see a lot of bands who copy paste what they send on Instagram to what they put on Facebook, and it just doesn't work. It's not formatted for the platform,
1000%, you are right on that.
Instagram doesn't handle links. Fine. Facebook hashtags are pointless, and if you just put at dewarpr77, that's not going to tag the Dewar PR page. That's just going to make you look like an out of touch idiot.
I agree 100%. Like when I'm saying repost, I'm just mainly talking about like something like Vero or Google Plus, like Facebook, Twitter, that type of thing. You want to be original in there because that's where the people are.
Yeah, exactly.
Or format it, like you said, not necessarily original, but same content, content repurposed.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I believe we did have a time limit on this episode because Curtis has dad things to do and I have prophecy things to do.
But before we end off, can I say one thing?
Is it Hail Gary?
Not Hail Gary. Well, there's two things. Sarah wanted to say something on the podcast. So I wanted her to say hi. She doesn't want to say hi now. Now she's got super shy. But the other thing too is just on going back to the content part is one thing that bands can do to make sure that they get a lot of content is that they can repurpose their content for each platform and do that over a period of a few days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you have a talk, like I've done the last 8 days about press kits on my Instagram, but I've broken it down into each section of a press kit. So like one day I was doing about making sure you include a SoundCloud link. Next day was about making sure you included the proper band photo, and I explained a little bit about that. And I took theme of press kits and I expanded it over 7 days or 8 days or whatever it is. And bands can do that too with a song.
Yeah.
Right. Or even anything.
Yeah. There's a very interesting Gary V episode, Hell Gary, where he says with every big piece of content he creates 30 smaller pieces of content, be that with Instagram stories, Instagram posts, blog posts, podcast clippings, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a band should be looking at doing, is starting with a large piece of content and then letting it fractalize out. I mean, I've taken, in the process of shooting this, I have shot, I think, 4 Instagram stories that are on my Instagram right now. I'm probably going to sit down and write an article about this later today because I still need to write one more article this week.
There you go.
And that's what it's about, is being able to take the big piece of content and creating smaller other pieces of content, because then people are going to see it. Once people see it, they start to want to put stock in you.
Yeah, I agree 100%, because then that way you can actually, it makes it so that way it's easier for content creation for you, and it gives people more value as a result, I think. I mean, you could even do it with a track too. You could even do like you could do a clip for a track. You could do a promo video for the track. You could, there's all sorts of things you can do with it, right?
Exactly.
So anyways, that's all I got to say for today about that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, Curtis. We do, dear listeners, we do have some interviews scheduled with a few very exciting, interesting individuals.
We do.
It's just going to be a question of us getting our shit together and knowing how to use this bullshit better.
Well, one thing I want to say about that is I've gotten a social media expert named Marley Baird agreed for August 30th. So you're going to want to hear that. She kicks butt. Very good person. She's works for some bigger name people. So you're going to want to hear that for sure. Yeah,
I'm actually really excited to interview her for that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Perfect. Well, awesome. Any closing thoughts, Mr. Dewar?
Well, my only closing thought is if anybody who's listening to this can share the podcast, that would be really, really cool. I think we haven't had too many listens yet, which we're not really expecting to blow up yet, since this is just like our first few podcasts. But if you can share it, also comment would be good. Tell us what you're getting out of it. We always like that. And if you have any questions about future that you want us to answer on future episodes, let us know.
Exactly. We are very accessible and lonely.
Yes, very lonely.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Party on.
All right.